Here we go, back again with another video. And yes, as you can see by the title, it's to do with players being at the club for next season and players being released and players I think should go the journey. And the 25-man squad. Yes, the 25-man squad. Now, what we'll do is we'll go off last season's squad. Players that were here last season. Then we'll get rid of them one by one and see what we're left with. So, we had Lessie, Matete in no particular order, Patterson, Huggins, Sirkin, Evans, Ballard, Bart, Diaku, Embleton. There was Sims and Gelhardt, put those in the two categories because one was before and one was after, and they're obviously both gone now. Roberts, Gooch, Bass, O'Neill, Stewart, Winchester, Clark, Pritchard, Diamond, Neil, Wright, and we had Hume, Barr, Lahaji, Anderson, Ahmad, Ekwa and Bennett here. They were the players throughout the whole of the season that were in our squad. You know, here or there. So I don't know if I've missed anybody out. Now, players that have actually left the squad already are Michoud, Winchester, Sims, Gelhardt. We have Sohona, who's on the way out. Carney, obviously being released. Ahmad. Then we have players that I think, I'm going to put them in the category where I think they should not be in the squad next season. Players like, for me, Jack Diamond. Unfortunately, we all know what's going on with Jack Diamond, so I don't think he was up to the task in the championship in the first place. So I think Jack Diamond, for me, should be released to go. I think League 1, League 2. I'm not going to get into his court case because I don't want to get involved in any of that. Because, well, we all know. Right, so also Diamond is gone. For me, I think we won't see Diamond again, personally. And we've also got Diaku. I think Diaku as well. We won't see Diaku anywhere. Never really been in the squad or amongst the team, as in such in the championship, to be fair. Then we got Bass. Now, for me, I'm happy to release Bass and let Bass go as well. Now, two players that are borderline, I'm not sure about this moment in time, is Niall Huggins. I do like Niall Huggins as a player, but you have to go, you kind of carry players in the squad. So, is he going to be constantly injured? Because he's been injured 2 or 3 times already in the first season or first couple of seasons. So, do we just sell him, release him, or move him on? Niall Huggins, it's a shame because if he stayed fit, I think he'd be a cracking player. Then we've got Embleton, another one. Nasty injury. Now, it's a really bad injury. Sometimes injuries are really difficult to get over. Elliot Embleton, is he good enough for the championship? Do you think he'll be good enough for the championship next season? Can he improve again? Can he step up to the mark and be a championship squad player? Again, I'm not quite sure with that one. But yes, Bass for me goes. Now, another player again, we're gonna leave him in the squad. But 2 players, Evans, injury prone. Is he worth keeping in the squad, or do we get another experienced player in, or is he just worth there for his captaincy and we take a risk at keeping him in the squad and hopefully he can stay fit? And also we have Ross Stewart, who has been very injury prone over the last season. When he plays, he scores goals. Again, is he worth giving another contract with his injury record, and will he ever get over that Achilles? That's a massive injury. A tough one, and he's got problems with his knee as well. So again, that's another one. Stewart, do we keep or let go? Again, I'll leave him in the squad for the time being because I know, hand on my heart, I would love Stewart to get fit, get back, because I think for me, he's a class act, especially in the championship. And I think I'd love to see him sign again. I would love to see him sign again. So I'm erring on the side of, let's keep him, let's hope he gets over the injury, and we'll keep Stewart. Now, players. For me, I think there's a 25-man squad, isn't it? It's a 25-man squad. I don't know if it's changed for this season, from last season to this season, but 25-man squad. And you can also have players, a minimum of, 8 players under 21 that get into the squad that are not included in the squad. Now, I think they've got to be playing for your team for the under 21s for the last 3 seasons. So Dan Neil fits into that perfectly. Patterson's just over the top now, I think. But being at the age of 22, is he still allowed to be in? Because it's strange how that goes on. got itchy neck. So Patterson as well, but we'll say Patterson is a full squad member, and that he's not one of these youngsters who's been here for 3 years. I think he's just over the threshold. Possibly. You let me know comments. Let me know in the comments down below. Now I've got me whiteboard of the squad of 25. Plus, you know, we have the extra one with Dan Neil. I'm not going to get involved with the rest of the youngsters at the club because, you know, if they've been there for 3 seasons under 21, they can be included in the first squad anyway, so that's perfectly fine. So we'll get onto this now, and we'll see what players we need to bring in to strengthen the squad. Then we'll go through them all individually and see which ones should we actually release to improve the squad, and which ones do you think? Yes, we'll ask you this. Out of this, on my whiteboard there now, have I missed anybody off that we should keep? And is there anybody on that board that we should release to improve the squad? Sometimes you can't always, you know, you can't always go with your heart, you've got to go with your head. So here we go, we'll move on to the whiteboard. We'll get this across a bit. There we have it. So, we'll start off with goalkeepers. As you can see, Anthony Patterson played every single game, every single minute last season for Sunderland. So Bass was made redundant. So what do? Do we keep Bass, knowing that it's a cheap option? It's going to be a cheap option keeping Bass. And hopefully Patterson, again, young lad like that, stays fit. He stays at the club, he stays fit, and he can play a full campaign again. And then we don't need to waste any money on a goalkeeper. Or do we say, is it worth getting a more experienced goalkeeper in? And get rid of Bass. For me, I'd let Bass go, and I think I'd risk getting a more experienced goalkeeper in just in case. Or err on the side of caution. In case, of course, as well, Patterson does actually go. We need another good goalkeeper for me, another good goalkeeper. So there's one person. So a 25-man squad. We'll take away Neil, which is 26. We'll add Neil, which is 26. Defenders, we've got Dennis Serkin, Alessi Bath, Ballard Hume, Triantis, who's been added in already in 09. Now, class 09 is a defender now because that's the only position he plays in these days. Now, is 7 players there good enough? We've got Hume as the right back, Serkin as the left back, so long as Serkin can stay fit. We've got Alessi, who's the left-sided. We've got Bart, Ballard in 09. Do we need anybody else in there? Now, we do have Anderson. What do we do with Anderson? The young lad, do we include him in the squad? Or do we let Anderson go? Now, another one I'm borderline with. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen enough of Anderson to give any kind of sort of comment on. So Anderson could actually fit in there. But if Anderson fits in there, it does take away another player from the midfield we can add in later on. Right. So now we're going to go into midfielders. We've got Evans. Now, is Evans going to be fit for the full season? Is he going to get back and be up to scratch, up to standard? He has got the experience, which does help the club. Evans, Matete. Is Matete good enough in the Championship? Or do we let Matete go? Roberts, Clark, yes. Neil, yes. Ekwa, yes. Gooch, Pritchard, Bellingham. We'll put Bellingham in there because Bellingham, you know, for far as we know, Bellingham's done and dusted. But we know nothing's ever 100%. I'm not saying it's 100%, but I'm saying we're gonna eye on the side of caution and say Bellingham is in the squad. That leaves 2 more places. Is there anybody in there do we get rid of? Now, for me, I'd the jury's out. As much as this is going to be, a lot of people are going to disagree with this. If we could bring in an experienced midfielder, a couple of years younger than Evans, who is captain material, but then there's a lot of money going to be spent on that player, isn't there? So I don't know which way the board's going to be looking at this. Evans is the cheap option of keeping him at the club because he's been extended his contract for a season. That's a cheap option. And I hope Evans stays fit because Evans will do a good job if he stays fit. But can we rely on a player to stay fit? The amount of injuries we had last season, that's what, it wasn't, you know, as much as you can say, oh, 9's not good enough. Or you could say, maybe I don't know. You know, people say Patterson Snipes is not good enough in the keeper. I think he's a brilliant keeper. And you got players as well. People saying Gooch is not good enough. Pritchard's not up to scratch because he didn't last 90 minutes. You know, and other players, and Barr's not ready. You know, so what do we do? Do we release them players and bring new players in, or them You know, all those injuries we had, all them injuries we had last season, that's what caused us not getting promoted to the Premier League. It wasn't those players I mentioned there. For me, it was not having the likes of Stewart and backup strikers and enough, and the injuries in defence. I'm hoping Triandus comes in and can stay injury-free. Hume was a prime example of somebody who can stay injury-free. Top lad. 09, always free. 2 players that seem to stay injury-free. Danny Barton, most of the season, a couple of little injuries, and unfortunately towards the end, it did go 1 game too many. But Ballard, another player, he's had 2 injuries at the club already, this young lad. So we do carry a lot of players with injuries. Do we release any of those, or do we keep them still? Now, like I said, the midfield, for me, there's 2 spaces. Now I know I put strikers, right? Strikers, we've got Stewart. We've got Burnett. For me, it's classed as a winger striker, isn't he? But maybe he's been more, I don't know, maybe he's more sort of to play him up front rather than on the wing, because we got Clark and we've got Roberts. Barr, for me, raw talent last season, another one could really come on, but he's another one that Mowbray plays him up front as well as in midfield. And Laharji, where does Laharji go? He's classed as a midfielder, and a mad type player and a forward. But then Semedo, if Semedo does come in, then another place is taken. So for me, if we get Stewart fit and can stay fit, mind, that's the big if. Only Stewart and the medical team will know whether he's going to be good enough for the championship. And if he's not going to be good enough, if he can't get himself fit, there's no point being in the squad. As much as we love Ross Stewart, as much as I want Ross Stewart to be fit and to play every single game, if he's not going to be in the team, there's no point carrying players. So only the medical team and only the manager and the people around the club will know whether, and Stewart himself, whether he can get a full season in. So let's say Stewart is fit. We've got Stewart, Semedo. We need another striker. We need a 3rd striker, a decent striker. Or do we need 4? Is Semedo going to be more like a Stewart type player because he's a big lad? Then do we need another player in here? So there we go. That's my 25-man team. We'll say 26-man team because Neil's classed for me as an under 21, being there 3 seasons. I don't think anybody else is because they're all over the edges. Possibly Patterson, but he's 22, 23 now. So I think he's passed it over now. So there we go. So who do we need to bring in? We need, for me, we've got, if we've got Triandus, if we bring Bellingham in, as if we bring Semedo in, 3, we only allowed 3 more. A keeper, a midfield, 4 more. A keeper, 2 midfielders and a striker. But in any order, it doesn't matter. You can have 2 strikers, 1 midfielder. So there's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So there's 4 more positions to go. If that team stays the same and those players come in, we have 4 more, 4 more people we can bring into the squad. Now, whether that's bringing Embleton in, Anderson in, Bass in, then that just leaves 1 more new player to come in. And we need to strengthen the squad. Is that going to be Huggins? Who do you fit into those 4 final places? And is there anybody on there we need to get rid of? Now, like I said before, I kind of want Evans and Stewart. We're going to pretend Evans and Stewart stays fit. Do we then offload Matete? Is he going to be good enough for the championship? Is he worth another season, Matete? Is there anybody out the defenders that we should release, do you think? I mean, for me, I like the defenders, but I want to make sure the likes of Sirkin and Alessi, touch wood, can stay fit. Midfielders, a lot of people kind of don't want to keep Gooch as well. Gooch seems to be on a lot of people's. And Pritchard, got a season in the championship, a full season of 90 minutes. You can't last a game, can you? So is it worth carrying Pritchard? Do we get that other experienced player in and offload Pritchard? But we still got two more positions there again. And then Laharji is one that they brought in to keep. Bar's one they brought in for this season, Burnett for this season. So for me, I'm thinking we definitely need another goalkeeper. We definitely need another midfielder. And I think we need 2 more strikers because, we know Benetti, Bar and Laharji are not really strikers, but I had to fit them in somewhere. So 2. So I'm going to say Stewart, Semedo, and then 2 more strikers to come in. 1 more midfielder, And then if we release someone to bring in that experience, that could be the experienced midfielder in his mid-20s to late 20s. And then another player, if one of those released, keeper, are we good now with defenders or do we need another right back? Do we bring in another right back? We know Alessi and Serkin can play a left back. Do we bring in another right back? Can those two players last the season? So there we go. That's the conundrum up for the start of the new season. Do you agree with that? Am I being harsh by leaving out Anderson? I kind of want to squeeze Anderson in there more than, I don't know, as much as I do like Embleton. I do like Embleton as a young lad, as a Sunderland player coming through, you know, coming through the ranks. Is he going to be able to get back and is he going to be good enough? Embleton and Matete could be two that we let go. Again, am I being harsh? Huggins, again, I like the lad to bits. He could be a class player, but is he worth risking? We can't, you know, if we keep all of the players and they all get injured again next season, we're back to square one again. So we've got to make some tough decisions. The owners have got to make some tough decisions this season. So for me, so you let me know which players would you release on that board, and any players that I haven't mentioned that should be on the board that I haven't mentioned so far. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed the video. It's kind of a long way around this. You know, we've got to make space. So for me, we can bring in 1, 2, 3. I see 4 more players we can bring in at least. So with Triantus, that's 5 players. So we've got to read. So 5 players we can bring in. Triantus is 1, 2, 3. Sorry, let's start again. Triantus 1, goalkeeper 2, Bellingham 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. So there's space for 7 players, 7 new players. New keeper, we got the defender in, we got a striker, we need another 2 striker, another striker, another, we got Bellingham in, another midfielder. So there we go. I think there's room for 7 players total, possibly 8 or 9 if we release 1 or 2. There we go. I mean, I don't even know if any of this makes sense. Sometimes I don't even make sense to myself. Enjoy the video. Hope you have. Take care. God bless. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. And thanks for watching. Lovely weather outside. It's not hot weather, is it? No, it's not. It's bloody freezing in here though. I keep the heating off all the time. Also, I didn't miss out Bailey Wright. Bailey Wright for me has been a good player, still a good player, decent player, but again, injury prone over the seasons. And I think for me personally, I would like to release Bailey Wright, keep Ballard, got Triantus now, possibly bring another one, but for me, release Bailey Wright as well. Allowed to have, like I said, under 21 players playing for the team that are not included in the squad. So you can have 25-man squad, and then you can have players who have been playing for Sunderland for at least three seasons who are under the ages of 21, and they're allowed to be in the squad as well, additions to the 25. Now it also looks like Lewis Semedo is on his way definitely to join Sunderland. Apparently he said his goodbyes to Instagram following his exploration of his contract. Semedo is set to join Sunderland on a free transfer, you know, all hopefully the work permit goes through. So there we go. Again, thank you for watching the video. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. And we'll see you later.